Wednesday, July 23rd. This is the Lion Channel. I'm John, day 83 of my manifesting journey. Yesterday, my daughter took a picture of a cicada killer wasp that was on one of the outside, it was on the outside of one of our window screens. And she took the picture and she's like, Dad, she knows that I like the cicada sounds. I've talked about, I may have mentioned that on here, but I put it on my gratitude list every day. And so I guess she took a picture of it. She looked it up. She saw it was a cicada killer wasp and she felt like she wanted to show me. So I looked at it and she had, I guess, Googled it. So there was some information underneath it. And so I was checking out the picture and I was reading up on it. And I was probably, a couple minutes into like really like being curious about what it does when it dawned on me that my curiosity was basically setting up a future encounter with this cicada killer wasp. And so I just thought to myself, I was like, oh man. And I just gave her the phone like real quick, like it was a ticking time bomb, like, here, take it. And, apparently it wasn't fast enough. I didn't realize it fast enough. Um, so today I was outside, I was walking the dog, and I was walking up to the house, and sure enough, one of those wasps zipped right by my head, like right by my ear. I could hear the buzzing in my ear, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. That wasn't that bad. We're all good." Cicada killer wasp, check the box. All right, I can move on. Or so I thought. I came in the house. I went upstairs, up here on the second floor, and I went into my closet. My wife and I have separate closets. And so I opened the door to the closet, and in the middle of the floor, just chilling on the floor, like I initially thought it was a cricket, was a cicada killer wasp. Like basically like waving to me, like, hey, did you summon did you summon me? Um, in my closet. Okay. I don't know how many of you have had wasps in your closet, but that's a first for me. And I don't know how many times you've seen a wasp like just chilling in the middle of a floor, but that was also a first for me as well. Um, you know, but if you're watching these videos, you know exactly what it is. It's a glitch. It's telling you that your imagination is creating reality. Whatever you focus on or curious about, giving strong emotional charge to, that's what you are attracting and asking for in your experience. All right. So, fortunately, I lived to tell the tale. I got the better of the cicada killer wasp. I had a can of something that I used, and so there's that. Next, I wanted to talk about. I was working out today, like a week or two ago. I mentioned being present and how that's like really the key to everything. It's like the key to being able to it's the key to your power. Like all the power that you have is in the present moment. And so even if your life's great, if you're not present to enjoy it, it's like, what's the point? And so I was talking about that like a week or two ago, and then I was so I realized that being present was super important. And then I was sitting and not moving until I gave myself instructions. And I had noticed just the quality of my performance in whatever I gave myself instructions to do was just improved tenfold. Like, because I was completely present whenever I would tell myself or instruct myself to do this or do that. And I was 100% present, and I would just dominate whatever it was. And so I made that video, talking about that. And I probably did it a little bit the next day. And the hardest part of everything, of all this, especially when it comes to techniques, is remembering this stuff, remembering that it's a simulation. That's why it's like, if you've been watching these videos, a lot of time it seems like I'm talking about the same things over and over and over again. But the whole purpose of that is so it becomes a knowing and embedded in my brain and in my life, and I remember it more and more and more. And also for you, if you continue to watch these videos and I just keep bringing it up, and you're like, maybe like, oh, here we go again. But you might also be like, wow, I forgot about that. Like, let me go and implement this again. And how can I remember it this time and not forget? And so that's why I don't mind talking about these things, similar things over and over and over again. It's just, the more you hear it, the more exposure you have to it, the better chance that you're going to remember and start implementing this stuff. And so I remembered it today, and I started implementing it into when I was working out. The idea came to me again. It was like my subconscious said, hey, here you go. I thought you wanted to do this. And so I must have been present for a moment. It came to me. And so there you go. So I used it today. I had one of the best workouts I've ever had, because what I would do is, if I would finish a set, and then I remembered, I looked at the clock. I was like, all right, at 2:41, I'm going to start my next set, and I'm going to do 8 reps of reverse lunges, 25 pounds, and I'm going to crush this set. And as soon as the clock ticked, it was like, as soon as the clock changed, it was like I was possessed. I just walked directly towards the weights, like picked them up, and just every single rep, every single motion, I was just fully present and just engaged and just crushed it. If you're working out every day, you know how much of a difference that can make, especially when you're just checking a box on your list and saying, yeah, I worked out. Sometimes you're just going through the motions and you're not fully there. It's just, something you're just crossing off on your to-do list. But when you can be present doing these things on your to-do list, that's your life. It's part of your life. It's leveling you up, and you're staying non-negotiable, but at the same time, you want to enjoy these things. And so I'm getting back to that, giving myself the instructions again. And like I said, I wanted to make this video to remind not just me, but you, if you wanted to become more present, you can start doing that as well. All right. So, Brent, I will do the mirror technique one of these days. I have not done it yet, but it's on my list. It's not on my non-negotiables yet. It's been a busy week, but it is on my list. And anyone who's curious about it, I will be talking about it in a future video, whether it does work, whether it benefits me or not, and give my, my opinion of it. But like I explained, I mean, you can start it. It's just basically, Brent says, it's looking in the mirror, maybe 5-10 minutes, and just looking at yourself in the eyes and just talking to yourself as if you already have your wish fulfilled, as if you already are that person. I got to do it. I'm putting it on my non-negotiable tomorrow. It just sounds, it sounds so good. It sounds like something I have to do. I'm going to do it tomorrow. All right. and I will report back tomorrow on that. Speaking of Brent and the Lions Den, Brent staying non-negotiable. Kate staying non-negotiable. Rad Radicals posted again. Fell asleep in the wish fulfilled. Good stuff. Haven't heard from Marley yet or Mindy. I'm sure Marley will post, and I'm sure Mindy will probably post too. I want a little bit more of manifestations and glitches. I appreciate you all sharing your non-negotiable list. You're staying consistent with that. But if you have, sorry, something just popped up on my phone. But if you have manifestations or glitches, things that that are kind of like happening in your experience, I would love it if you would share these things, because that's what people are eventually going to start coming on these videos and be curious about this journey. And if they're reading, not if they're seeing not only my experience and my results, but if they're also reading people falling asleep in the wish fulfilled in the lion's den, sharing their manifestations and their glitches, then they're more likely to believe in it. The more people are talking about it and the more people are doing it and getting results, the more other people are likely going to be open to it. So if any of you have those glitches or manifestations, feel free to share them. I would love to hear them. All right. That's going to be it for tonight. Day 83 in the books, day 84 tomorrow. I love you all. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you then.